how Aaron Glenn played our young secondary, right? Herm, you know, we talking about rookies back there in the secondary. So you know you guys used to lick your chops when you got up against a
Absolutely.
rookie guy. But it was interesting to see how Aaron Glenn started the game off. They ran like probably the whole first quarter. They ran mostly zone defense. And Herm, you know, right? Isn't that to protect the young defensive back? If you run a lot of zone coverage compared to Aaron Glenn, who we know he's a guy that loves to run man to man coverage. But again, you take that chance on, you know, ruin I don't know if it works the same. Herm, what you think? Like a quarterback. You know how you can ruin a quarterback early? You know what I'm saying? You put him in
Right.
there too early and you can ruin him. I think the same can work for a defensive back, right? We had Jeff Okuda here, you know, number 3 pick, a lot of expectation. Things didn't work out, never got better from that standpoint. So it seemed like the Lions are taking a different approach with these young defensive backs in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It was leaving them so that they wouldn't have the exposure. And as a veteran receiver, you are looking to take advantage of what they don't know. And there were some compromising situations where you can see you get a young guy like Arnold to turn his hips a certain way, then you break across his face. He can't get out of the cut as much, and it creates an easy completion to a veteran guy like Cup, right? Cooper Cup. Um, then if you get the sit down routes, and then you're getting crossing routes, and then you have to pass and bump people off, and if you look at the Rams, I mean, they talked about how much they use motion. Motion is done specifically, and they probably did even more. I know they use a lot of motion, but they probably did a lot more to try and confuse some of the places and spaces in defense, because that usually you have to pass off assignments, and when you pass off assignments, if everyone does not on the same page, you get broken coverage. And we saw that in a couple spaces during this time. But they're going to continue to target the young secondary. It's going to limit what they can do if you get into man situation. I just don't think the corners at this youthfulness part of their career are going to be ready to just man up and play some of your more crafty guys head to head like that, because you will get exposed. But to the same point, it's going to be, you're going to have to take some chances, because teams are going to force you into man. The Rams, if they didn't have some of the injuries along the offensive line, and then also didn't have a couple of receivers, go down or whatever you, I think if you look at the efficiency in which Matthew Stafford was throwing the ball, it was a short hits. They were getting the ball in and out. They were trying to force them into man coverage, because you can't sit back in zone and allow yourself to be picked apart. And that's what they were doing. That's why they were so efficient on third down and had a high percentage of conversion rates and first downs, because they were just getting that 4, 5, 8 yards. And that's a veteran move. That's veteran quarterback. And that's forcing the hand.